Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Tuesday Night Live podcast from the range with your host, John G. Johnson.
That always cracks me up. I don't know why I did that. Like a wrestling thing, I guess. Well, good evening, folks. My name is John Johnson. I'm the owner and operator of a firearms training facility in beautiful Cape Coral, Florida. We specialize in you. We specialize in a first-time shooter, getting them comfortable running a gun and doing well. We do training classes a large percent of the time, taking brand new students and getting them comfortable shooting their pistol. You know the routine. If you're here this evening and you're on the live and you're watching it, go ahead and comment and let us know who are you from and who you are. We would appreciate it very much. Had a special week this week. We had a couple of our subscribers coming from places. We had a guy from the Caribbean that came and shot with us for the week. He's still in Florida with his sister this week, but that's was kind of exciting. We had another student from Naples that came down and shot with us as well. It's always fun to get our subscribers in to shoot with us, and you're more than welcome to visit Florida and come shoot with us. We offer that if you can schedule it pre-advanced, and we'll put a special program for you. If you're traveling and don't have a pistol, we can get you a pistol to come shoot with us as well. We are very humbled when people ask, can we come down and train with you? And I always say, absolutely yes. We are live on my Facebook page. We are live on YouTube, and we are live on Rumble. So if you have those, we appreciate you. I will not get any comments from Rumble, but definitely get them from Facebook and definitely get them from YouTube. So if you're watching it live through YouTube or live through Facebook, feel free to comment below. And it's important that we need to say hello as much as possible. Well, I want to remind you guys about our ebooks. Ebooks are available for you. What the ebooks about? They're about grip and stance and trigger control and sight picture and sight alignment. And if you have an opportunity or need to want to get one of our ebooks, I want to give you one for free. So all you have to do is go to our website and go to our shop center there. Pick out one of our ebooks. There's a couple of them there, handgun, grip, and their stance. And then we have all the things, why we shoot low and left, and on and on. Pick one of the books that you like that you haven't received. Go ahead, put your in the cart, and put that cart at checkout, put free book, and you get one of our ebooks for free. And what are they about? Well, they're about grip and stance and trigger control and sight picture and sight alignment, everything a new student needs, and it really gives you the ability. We break down each topic down to the simplest explanation to help you put the things together. So if you have an opportunity to get one of our ebooks, we would thank you very much. Now, those books are they're only $2.99 regular price. They're on sale at $2.99 from regular $3.99. And if you want to put a couple more books in the cart, it would not hurt my feelings at all. And you'd be supporting a family-owned business like mine. And I appreciate that very much. We've got a great one for you this evening. I've taken, we're back at the range, and we're going to give the top 10 range hacks. And these are things that we use on a regular basis that I want to let you know about or remind you about for the purpose of when you're at the range. Let's be honest. Most shooters waste time and money at the range without even realizing it. Tonight, I'm going to give you 10 of my top range hacks that will save you ammo, save you money, and make sure that every trip to the range, you're actually improving your skills. These are things I've learned from training thousands of students, and I guarantee they'll make a difference for you as well. So obviously, if you have a hack that you comment on, go ahead and do that if you'd like, what you use at the range. These are my 10. That doesn't mean my 10 is right. It just means I've used these 10. And if you want to, you can add these to your portfolio and they give you something. So number one is bring a marker. Bring a tactical marker or 2 or 3 or 4. I learned this from doing the master class with a lot of students. I was able to get my master class students to start identifying what they're doing wrong with their weapon by marking the strings of rounds. We call the 5 shots a string. And when you put their first 5 rounds in the gun and you shoot your target, whatever it is, you want to go in with a marker and circle those first 5 shots. And then when you do your second string, you want to mark those 5 shots with a different color marker. And your 4th string and your 5th string, you could all do the same, different color markers. And now you're starting to identify a pattern. Maybe you're shooting low and left. Maybe you're shooting high and right. Maybe you're shooting right and you're right-handed. That tells you an awful lot about what you're doing with over manipulation with your right hand. But there are a lot of different things you can do. And the idea of training properly is to identify what you're doing wrong to solve your shooting issues. So bring in a Sharpie or a marker or multiple markers to help you mark your shots, track your groups, and stop wasting fresh targets every time. If you work on a target, you can kind of get yourself and you'll be able to identify first shot, second shot, third shot, fourth shot, and fifth shot when you mark your shots. It makes a big difference, and you'll start being able to identify the troubled magazine or the trouble round you're having. A lot of students get excited and may pull the first round, or they may pull the last round. It happens an awful lot where they just get fatigued while they're putting in. A lot of students are putting 15 rounds in the magazine, and they start realizing 6 through 15, we're all over the place because I've lost my power during the shots. So number one is bring a Sharpie or a marker to mark your shots. Number 2 is use a plasters or duct tape. Now, these are more for IDA, and you see these an awful lot, but you can physically cover the holes up and reuse the target multiple times. You can bring a piece of white painter's tape, blue painter's tape, and just keep covering up those holes, and you almost get a brand new target each time. We see a lot of people shoot the same target over and over and over and over. You got 300 rounds in one target. How can you really tell if you're getting better or worse if you can't identify where your bullet impacts? And a lot of times, students don't see where the bullet impacts, and it causes a lot more problems for you. So using plasters or duct tape or electric tape or white tape to cover up old holes in a target and reuse the target for multiple times. This is a money saver, guys, because most places you're going to go, they make you buy their targets. Now, we don't do that. We give you free targets here. But most places charge $2 for a piece of paper. And then once you get to 2 or 3 or 4 of those, you're just adding expenses into your target. That's not necessity if you cover up the holes that are in this. All right, so the number 2 is use some kind of hole cover, whether it be a plaster, which they sell those. And you spend money on plasters that little circles like that. You can just use regular white tape or blue tape and cover up the holes. Number 3 is preload your magazines. This can save some times. Let's say you have 5 magazines. Go ahead and put 5 rounds in them at a time. And preloading your magazines saves you time, and time is money. A lot of the ranges you guys go to got you on a clock. And once you get past an hour, they're going to charge you more time. We don't do that. We're happy you're here. And the only time we ever say anything to anybody is if they've been there all day and we have people waiting and someone's been here over an hour, we ask you to step aside and let someone new shoot. But if we're not busy, we're not kicking anybody away. So preloading your magazines could save your time, but don't preload them with full rounds, because I think that's going to be more of detriment to you than anything else. I know I can control 5 rounds, and I know I could take any customer and put 5 rounds downrange, and you can control it. You're not going to be able to control when you get past, 15 rounds or plus or more. It becomes a little bit more. When you preload magazines, you save time in keeping your focus on the training and not loading. The secondary thing I would tell you about this, if there's no shame in your game to use a loader, if you have a problem loading a magazine and you're having real difficulties, don't worry about it. Get a loader and load the mags using a loader. It'll save you a lot of time compared to spending all that time trying to load when you have limited time to begin with. We all have limited time when it comes down to it most of the time. So, preloading the magazines can help tremendously. Number 4, work strings of fire, not mag dumps. I see this an awful lot on Saturdays when the boys come. You know the boys. The guys, the boys. They come, they put full magazines in, they stand there in their best gangster style and bang, 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 shoot all these rounds together. And really, mag dumping is fun. I get it. But you're not getting anything out of it. You're actually building bad habits, which in turn will become the habit you'll have. And you're not really focusing on any way of becoming accurate. So when you work a string of fire, we talked about a string being 5 shots at a time. The 5 shots you can control, the 5 shots you can be accurate with. We need to break down our training into short, focused sets to conserve ammo. People ask me all the time, well, how long should I shoot at the range? You should shoot 50, no more than 100. 50, no more than 100. And anything past 100, you're just wasting money then, because you're not going to get any better. I always use the terminology golf. I'm a terrible golfer, but I know if I shot 18 holes, and those 18 holes, I shot 90, all right, let's just say. And I went in the clubhouse, and congratulations, John, you get another free another free 18 holes. Do you think I'm going to shoot a 90 on the second 18? No way. That's going to be a higher score because I'm already fatigued after shooting the first 18. So the second 18 is just going to be more challenging for me. So when we're working on focus sets and we're working on short training programs and we're trying to conserve ammo, it's going to help us tremendously compared to doing mag dumps. And the mag dumps become more of a waste of ammo than anything. So number 4 is work strings of fire, not mag dumps. Number 5 is start with dry fire first at the range. Now I can tell you, if you've never done this before, this is a game changer. But there's a little caveats to this. You can't shittily, and there goes that word again, you can't shittily dry fire, then try to live fire. You need to run the dry fire drills like you have a live gun in your hand. And you do act different when you know there's no rounds in that gun versus when there's rounds in that gun. Your body can tell the difference, and it feels the difference. And psychologically, you know, because there's no round in that gun, you don't have to control it like you do when it is a live round. So we need to practice running that gun just like we run the gun when there's live rounds in it. But what dry firing does, and we do the handgun training system each week, I give my students that sign up for the handgun training system a drill of the week. It's a test for them. It's an accuracy test for them. I give them a PowerPoint presentation. I give them a PDF drill. I give them why the drill is important. Through the PowerPoint presentation, we explain everything, and then we get them to download the target. And every week we have them dry fire before they live fire. Thank you for the thumbs up, whoever did that. We appreciate it. Each time they do a dry fire before they do a live fire, it makes a big difference on their accuracy. And you know, the whole reason why you're at the range is for the accuracy over anything else. So start with dry firing at the range. What this will allow us to do is the repetition of practicing sight picture, trigger press without burning one single penny of ammo. And the more we dry fire, the more accurate we're going to be when we live fire. So it's imperative that we put dry firing into our training system. And if you dry fire the drill before you live fire the drill, so I always tell the guys, give me 5 live and 5 dead. The dead ones are the dry fire ones, and make a difference, because if you drive the gun properly, like you're driving everything else, you'll start running that drill and you start focusing, you get the follow through, you get everything. How many of us look over the pistol when they shoot to make sure we're hitting the target where we need to? If you're doing that, guys, you are not confident that you're shooting the pistol properly. When you dry fire that product and you live fire that product, you don't need to look. You know where the bullet's going to impact. So number 5 was start with dry fire at the range. All right, number 6 is run a warm-up drills. I think this is important. We're going to go back to golf again. But how many of us go to the golf range before we golf? Now, I know if I can get there, and I'm always limited on time, and I'm always leaving the range late because something happens, and the boys want to meet at the golf thing, I don't get to shoot my bucket of balls before I get out and do my 18. I know I'm not going to shoot as well as if I go to the golf course and shoot a couple, 15, 20, 25 balls, get me swing going, check the chipping going, get my putt going. It makes a big difference on how many strokes I miss because I've warmed up before I got there. When I have to get there, rush, put the clubs in the cart, go to the first tee, and the boys are waiting. At that point in time, I know I can't even stretch really, and the first 2 or 3 holes, I'm just kind of, I should have warmed up. I should have been here 15 minutes early, hit the bucket of balls. And this is the same thing we try to use at the range. So if we warm up, run some warm-up drills, and these could be as easy as one-shot drills. One-shot drills are a great way to do it because it focuses on first shot accuracy. It focuses on control. It focuses on trigger press. And we're not really worried about burning up a bunch of ammo. So you can take the tactical marker we talked about a little earlier ago and do 4 circles, do a square box, take a 3x5 card, take a 3-inch circle, anything you want, and just concentrate on just getting a good, smooth trigger press back and get 10, maybe 15 rounds downrange. And then you start getting the bullets touching each other and you're starting to get you're getting a little warmed up before you start. Begin with 5 or 10 slow, precise shots. Check your fundamentals before you speed up. You need to slow down to speed up. That's the key thing that most people don't do, is they speed up to miss. You don't want to speed up to miss. You want to speed up to be accurate as much as possible. And running warm-up drills will help us do that. Working on that precise shot trigger press to keep that weapon really focused in, visually seeing those sights each time. Too many people push through everything and just assume that I'm going to be accurate. You have to be accurate, and you have to work at it to be accurate. So number 6 was run warm-up drills. Number 7 is use index cards or sticky notes as a target. Now, I did a video, I don't know, a year ago on YouTube, and I took $10, and went down to the dollar store. And I think I don't remember the whole video, but I know it was over 1,000 targets I got for the $10. And I got 3x5 cards, index cards. I got 6-inch paper plates. I got 3-inch paper plates. Little cupcake plates. I ended up getting 8-inch paper plates. I got sticky notes. I got stars and circles and squares and rectangles of all the sticky notes. They had some stickers there. I was able to get that. I had the markers. I think it was over 1,000 targets I was using at the range. You just throw those on your range back. You don't have to use a silhouette of a bad guy at the range. If they force you to buy your target, just buy one. Buy one and then use your targets that you bring with you. Your black magic marker is a target if you make a circle, square, line, box. It makes it very easy and it makes it inexpensive and not costly. So if you shoot in the center of the target, you have 4 corners you haven't even engaged yet. Go ahead and make your target in those 4 corners and work on that as you go. I hate the silhouette targets like the ones you see behind my head here, because where is the center circle on that silhouette on that bad guy? It's almost in the middle of his body. What we should be focusing on is the center mass of the body, the vital triangle, up closer to the horizontal boob line. Boob line? Bublin, where your chest is where we need to be impacting, not down there in the guts where the red dot is. And the problem with that is most people, when they start aiming at that, they start using a wrist aim the gun. Remember, we don't use our wrist aim a pistol. We use our waist aim a pistol. We got to keep that weapon level to control the weapon. The more we put a gun at an angle, the more the bullet's going to be in an angle. What you're looking for mostly on using these smaller targets is it's going to be cheap on you. It's already a little expensive to shoot on a regular basis, and we need to make advantage as we can. So using the dollar store, buying cheap targets, getting small targets, it forces you to tighten your accuracy and make sure that you're doing as much as you can. Now, keep in mind, range time is for accuracy. Defensive shooting is for survival. And if you really think about it, if you're using a 6-inch paper plate, and I tell you the vital triangle, there we go, Ben. Ben just said it. Ben Vol, he just said it. Aim small, miss small. That is a Daniel Boone thing. That is very important because that's what he said years and years and years ago. You aim small, you miss small. Remember what they say? Wait till you see the whites of their eyes. That was said in the Revolutionary War because we knew we were close enough to win that battle compared to them shooting too far away. But the smaller the target, you'll be very surprised how tight your groups get when you aim small, miss small. Thank you, Ben. Appreciate that, buddy. Number 8 is set a training goal before you go. I think too many people try to work on everything at the range, and you just can't do it. It's not going to be good for you. I would tell you more than anything, if you said to me, John, tell me what to work on. Tell me what to work on. I would say work on trigger press. Trigger press, and maybe after that, get a good grip. And after that, let's figure out that sight alignment and sight picture. Because you may not like what I'm going to say. Sights on a pistol are a convenience. They are not a necessity. A level pistol will shoot level. I've done it here at the range. All I do is focus on the back of the firearm. I don't look at the sights in a high defense. When you're shooting a pistol in a defensive situation, you may not have opportunity to aim. You may have to look at the back of the firearm and just make sure that's in the center mass and cut the shots. Now, obviously, we love to use our sights on a regular basis, but in real life, in a real high stress situation, and in the situation, you're not going to focus on all that stuff. So, getting yourself in a system that you can work on. And the problem with it is each time we touch the firearm, we need to put everything we're doing systematically the same each time. The same grip each time. The same sight picture each time. The same sight alignment each time. You can't overgrip or undergrip. The gun's over your dominant eye up here in your line of sight. You could have it just a little bit low behind your sight. Are you dipping your head to the gun? Are you keeping your head up while you're shooting? Are you turning your chin? Are you putting your dominant eye over the weapon? There's so many things we need to work on. But if you set a goal or set a training platform or something you can do each time, it makes a difference, and then you can look at the quantification of what you've done at the range today. I think the biggest thing I see most people do is they come to the range They shoot 250 rounds. They pack up all their shit. They sweep up and they leave. They didn't get one opportunity to spend some time reviewing what they did at the range to see what they're doing or the training program they're doing is benefiting them or if it's causing them to be missed. And that's where all these little things like the cards and the and the dry fire and the warm-up drills, the whole concept here is, am I getting better or am I getting worse? And it's a lot of times it's a little bit of both, because we know the boys that come and shoot by 250, 300 rounds and they're here for an hour and a half and they're just blasting ammo. Those guys are just here to do that. Unfortunately for most of us, we're bringing a pistol into our home for our defensive purposes. We're bringing a pistol in our home to save our family's life. We take it serious. And we know that we are responsible for the bullet until it hits the ground. And us being as accurate as possible is your responsibility. So when you go to the range and you pull 400 rounds down range and you're not accurate, or you hit the paper, but you don't know where you hit the paper because you haven't identified it, well, then real life, are you as accurate as you need to be? And that's the key thing. So set a training goal each time you go. When we do the master class, which is a 4-week thing, we're starting in September, or we do the handgun training system, which is a drill a week. I build the drill. I make sure you have what you need, the PDF, the drill, why the drill is being done, why it's important, why it's going to help you, and why it challenges you at the range. And once it challenges you at the range, then range time becomes exciting again. And that's a monthly membership thing, $29.99 for the month. And you get 4 drills, 4 PowerPoints, 4 Monday night 5:45 phone calls. It's a webinar style. And then we get you to turn your stuff in, and you and I look through your targets and identify what you're doing wrong. You're getting to work with me for a full month for $29. That's a steal. It's a steal. There we go. I took the time, as D. Marshall said, I took the time to learn how to read the target and know what corrections to make. That's true. Go to my website. There's a lot of stuff people don't realize. That Johnny, my oldest boy, when he was helping me in the YouTube getting it off the ground, he made a thing called the Shot Doctor, and he put my big fat head on a doctor's body. And I was looking at targets. I'd come in on Monday in the morning, and I'd be sweeping up in the back, and I'd see this target, and I would just take the camera out and identify what I thought was doing or what people were doing, and if they were over torquing with their right hand. There's a couple things people normally do. If right-handed student shoots low and left, the low and left for right-handed student is most likely anticipation, or they got the gun over their nose and not over their dominant eye if they're right-handed. And they're pulling the trigger, not pressing the trigger. If you really think about it, if you got the gun directly over your nose and you are using your right eye to look through the weapon, you already got the gun in somewhat of a vice already because it's at a left angle. And then you dump the gun because you pull the trigger, and that pulls the gun down to the left. So low and left is very common for right-handed students. The easiest way to solve that is by turning your chin, right-handed students, turn your chin to the right and get the weapon over your dominant eye. Then you'll be shooting directly over the pistol. Most people don't do that, though. What they do is they turn their head and they crank their head this way. That does not move your eye. This moves your eye. And the more you look over the pistol, the more accurate you're going to be with the pistol. All right. So just don't shoot. Decide on a skill to improve your accuracy, maybe your draw speed, maybe your reload, whatever you need to practice on, the thing you're the weakest on, that's what you need to practice each week. Number 8 was set a training goal before you go. This is important because most people come here and show up and say, I think I'll shoot this today. No, they don't have a clue what they're going to do. They just show up and shoot. Number 9 is to keep some kind of journal or write down your drills, your times, your groups, so you can actually measure your progress. How many of you are doing that? Most people aren't. You've got your cell phone with you. Take pictures, identify what's working and identify what's not working, and it will help you tremendously remind you of what a good shot feels like, and you'll be reminded what a bad shot feels like. It's very easy to see from behind a student as an instructor when we watch you pull a trigger versus press a trigger. You don't really figure out what you're doing until someone helps you identify it. I do a lot of, one of the good things I'll give you, even keeping the journal is a good thing, but if your range will allow you to videotape yourself while you're shooting, you will see a lot of the manipulation that you're doing to a pistol by just videotaping yourself. When you've got the gun in your hand and the gun's at an angle, you may not even see that angle, but the video will. When you shoot and you slow it down and you see that the front post gets pulled down when you shoot the gun, well, that's going to cause that bullet to shoot down. So we need to really visually see it. And then once we start seeing it, you can feel most students, when they first start out, they're trying to control the weapon and they're trying to stop the recoil management. Recoil management is one of those things that's very challenging for students that don't know how to control it. And the trick for gentlemen is stop trying to control the weapon with your right and left hands and start controlling the weapon with your chest muscles. Gentlemen, do me a favor. Put your hands out in front of you. Bring your hands together. Squeeze your hands as tight as you can. You're going to feel your pecs, your chest muscles kick in. This is how we control a pistol, with our chest muscles, not our biceps, triceps, our forearms, and our hands. Those are all along for the ride when we use our chest pec to control the pistol. And what happens when you use your pistol and you squeeze your chest muscles together, you're going to clamshell that gun with the 2 thumbs forward grip, that you're going to completely control the muzzle flip at that point in time. All right. So I'm sorry, I'm reading comments as we go here. So it goes. And I'll get those comments here in a little bit. So For women, just not I want to stop talk about the women, but the women, what I want you to do, ladies, if you can, and gentlemen, you want to feel this, you can feel what I'm talking about. And this is why when you take your wife to the range and you want her to shoot 250 rounds, she can't do it because she's trying to control the weapon differently than you. And I want you to feel the pressure she has to do this. So what I would recommend is, ladies, you take your dominant hand and drive it out and bring your non-dominant hand and pull back. If you push out and pull back, you're going to feel your back muscles kick in. And this is how a woman controls a pistol. And it keeps that weapon level. And we've always said, what? A level pistol will shoot level. If the weapon is not level, it becomes more challenging for you. And these journals we're talking about, these videos we do, the pictures we do, the target collection we do, each target, figure out what it is. The more we can identify the good and the bad, the better it's going to be for us in the future. When we can identify what we're doing wrong, it's easier to fix it. And the more easier it is to fix, the easier it is to solve. So writing down drills, times, groups, so you can actually measure your progress. You know, measuring your progress is the whole reason why you're coming to the range, to get better, to become a better shooter, to control the tool, not to control the deadly weapon. A lot of people look at firearms and think they're a deadly weapon. They are not a deadly weapon. They are a tool, and a tool needs a craftsman, and that's what I'm asking you to become by picking out these 10 great tips. And number 10 is get into some kind of program. You know, we have the handgun training system, which is an ideal program that's going to give you a structured drill. You're going to stop the guesswork on what you're going to do each week, and it's going to give you real accountability. A little bit about the handgun training system. What it is a course-laden system. Every Monday night at 5:45, I do a live from the store here. It's not live. It is a webinar style. You guys are you're on, but you don't have cameras on, but you can focus through a webinar style. And then what we're going to do is we're going to go through the drill of the week, the challenge drill of the week. And last week's was a one-shot drill with diamonds on the top and diamonds on the bottom. And it kind of give you a routine how to shoot it one shot at a time. And it gives you your priorities, and it gives you why the drill is important. Then it gives you a PowerPoint presentation that you get to download and read yourself. I'm going to read it for you when we go to 5:45 live. And then you're going to get a PDF of the target. Your job is to get to your local range, shoot your target. Normally, we have these low round count targets. So you're looking anywhere from 20 to 40 rounds. You're going to be dry firing first, then live firing. And then you're going to turn your target into the course system. And some people have a little problem with that with old software. So you can actually turn your target into me. And then I will either you can text your target to me, and we will talk about your target, identify what I think you're doing wrong, and then, give you some pointers. And that is a weekly thing that we do every Monday at 5:45. and we welcome new people to get into it all. Now, what the cool thing is if you're a local here and you get into the handgun training system, when you come to do your drill and you're not one of our members, you shoot for free during the handgun training system. So during the little things you do your homework in, you shoot for free. So if you start using these hacks, I promise you the range time will never feel wasted again. You'll walk out knowing you improved, and you'll spend less money doing it. And if you want even more structure like the handgun training system, just let me know and we can get you set for it. If you'd like to try it, talk about it down below. Tell me I'd like to try it, and I'll send you a free one so you can get into it. The cool thing about the handgun training system, at this point in time, there's probably archived over 25 targets that you have never seen before. And you're able to go back and look at all of them, download all of them, watch all the videos. If there's videos, if there's a PowerPoint presentation, you'll be able to see that as well and be able to shoot them on a regular basis. That's almost what, 20, that's it's almost 3 months of targets if you did it every Monday and did it. And most of these are real challenging drills that's going to really cause you to become accurate with a pistol. Handgun training system was done for the guys who did the master class with us and wanted to stay with us, right? They didn't want to leave. They loved what we were doing there. So we appreciate each and every one of you being here. We had a couple comments. Let's see what I've got here. All right. I bring paper plates every time, 2-inch, and I shoot 5 shots. This is color Sharpies. There we go. Thank you, Stanley. Schwingley Investments. Appreciate you very much. Your wife, my wife laughs at me for punching holes in perfectly good paper plates, but I can adjust any size from 4-inch to 9-inch. That's true. That's true. We got to get her here. Let her shoot. She'll have fun. 5-shot set is a great for semi-auto and revolver. Sure is. That's good. That's good advice there. All right, Ben, I'll send you it, buddy. I'll send you something. Just text me tomorrow, and I'll send you a free copy of it. It's kind of cool. You'd like it. First drill, but then after that, if you want to get into it, there's a pay window. You can get into it after the fact. You get the first one for free. But for $29, like I said, you get me, you get the drills, you get the PowerPoint presentation. And one thing great about that is we do these all over the country. So you don't have to be local here to get the drills. And we've got guys from all over the United States that are doing it right now. And it just gives me something. We just come up with a different drill each week, something to challenge you, something to work. And it's normally low round count drills, so it's kind of fun. Well, that was the presentation for this evening, and I appreciate each and every one of you who were on the call this evening. Thank you very much. It always humbles me each week to see that somebody is sitting somewhere watching this thing. It makes a big difference for me. Guys, if you are YouTube friendly, please look down on you. If you're watching this through YouTube, look down at your look down at your subscribe button and make sure that you are subscribed to our channel. Sometimes people get unsubscribed, and I don't know how that happens, but if it does happen, make sure you get subscribed back to us, because sometimes, somehow, somewhere, whatever, people get unsubscribed for some reason. So make sure you subscribe. And then we are on YouTube, we're on TikTok, we're on Rumble, so we appreciate all that stuff. Well, if there's no other comments this evening, I have to say 3 things to you. God bless, be safe, and remember, you are your first line defense. God willing, I'll see you next Tuesday at 6 p.m. for our Tuesday Night Live. I love you guys. Good night.